Hey guys, so I know it's been a while, but with school and work and all that kind of stuff, I didn't really have time to do more of this stuff, and I really wish I could have. So, in the holiday spirit, since we're approaching Christmas and I love the Tesla Model S and not a lot of people know about it, I decided to make a sort of a video explaining what it is and why you should care. Hopefully, I'll get you to buy one. But in case I don't see you again until 2016, I wanted to say Happy New Year and Merry Christmas. And with that said,
Release the Kraken!
Do you remember the last year's crazy IPO? Tesla up 40% in the first day? That was way back in last June. Since then, the stock has continued to rise, up 12%.
Consumer Reports gave Tesla's Model S E85D
sedan
road score. In fact, it scored higher than 100%, saying that it performed better than
Billionaire CEO Elon Musk. Yesterday, he reported his Tesla Model S sedan has received the highest crash test rating of any car tested by regulators. The electric car, which has an average price tag of about
Tesla's expected to make
$70,000,
5,500 Model S cars next year, ramping up to 20,000 by 2014. This is an ambitious goal to create a whole new kind of car with sales to rival any luxury sedan and do it in the next 18 months.
February 19th, 2014. I was going on a road trip to Washington, D.C., and had stopped in a mall to get a few things. I was walking and then stumbled upon the Holy Grail. It was magical. It was like eating vanilla ice cream directly out of a huge bucket. I had already heard about the Tesla Model S, but had never seen one for myself. After learning about it, Tesla and Elon Musk, I became very interested and started to follow everything he was doing. Needless to say, it's now my all-time favorite car, so let's find out why. First, we must take a step back. Now let's look at Elon Musk's global vision for the world. Each one of his companies is pursuing one of these goals. PayPal, his first company back in 1998, was made to make online payments possible and transform the financial industry. SolarCity, the largest solar panel provider in the US, is trying to impose a sustainable source of renewable energy. SpaceX is trying to bring commercial space travel to the public by drastically reducing the cost of it. And Tesla Motors is trying to impose high-end, high-quality electric cars to the market, which would be using a sustainable source of renewable energy. First is the expensive high-end model. This was the Roadster that came out in the early 2000s, and the cost was around $140,000, which proves it's the expensive model, and it actually sold out pretty well. Second is the mid-range price mid to high-end model. We currently live during the end of this period, which includes the Model S, priced between $75,000 and $105,000 without counting all the bells and whistles you can add to it, and the new Model X SUV starting at around $69,000. Third is, well, the future. We don't exactly know what to expect. All we do know, however, is that it's going to be the mid to lower end model.
The company plans to develop a smaller car that will be more economical for more people. The Model 3 will be available in the year 2017. Model 3 would be able to go more than 200 miles on a single charge.
Directly, CEO Elon Musk claimed the upcoming model will directly rival BMW's 3 Series.
Tesla Motors CEO Elon Musk has finally let the world know when they can get their hands on a brand new Tesla without dropping six figures, but it's still a ways away. Wednesday, he tweeted the Model 3 would start production in about 2 years, and it will only set you back $35,000.
We don't know exactly what the Model 3 will look like just yet. AutoExpress has some watermarked images, but The Verge fired back reporting Tesla now says they were mock-ups based on speculation.
So first things first, the Model S is an electric car, as was the Roadster and as will be every car that comes in the near future. So rich white Asian males who have made their fortune by selling gas and oil, screw you, sincerely. The Model S is the predecessor to the Roadster, which was released in 2006. And it did help Tesla take off, but that doesn't mean that the company has had a smooth start. See, electric vehicles have never been very popular among the public, at least for the past few decades. So in 1996, General Motors decided to release the first EV1, a car that would just only be running on electricity.
The electric car is here.
After its release, everyone who owned one said they loved it, and it became very popular among the public.
Allen's breakthrough power system helped create an electric car unlike any that had ever been driven before.
I had one of those early EV1s, and I used it here in the Capitol. I loved the car.
Believe it or not, that sucker goes. That thing will take you down the PCH so fast you could get a ticket.
They were quiet and fast, produced no exhaust, and ran without gasoline.
And we started seeing the momentum building for this and the waiting lists being created for these cars.
GM did do it right. They did create a great car. It's well engineered, well designed.
However, GM decided to crush every one of them against the public's will.
There were no clues as to where the cars were going.
There they are. Wow.
We flew over General Motors, and looking down, we could see right next to the racetrack where the EV1 was first tested, we saw, I don't know, maybe 50 EV1s crushed and put on top of semi-flatbeds right next to the yellow crusher. General Motors is almost finished off. I don't imagine there's very many EV1s left that haven't been crushed out. It's pretty sad.
GM said there wasn't enough demand, although that was wrong.
And now, turn it in by such and such a date, or you're going to be held liable.
As it gave enormous incentives to buy SUVs, the federal government also sued California to stop the electric car.
It's David versus Goliath in a very big way. But if there are enough Davids in the world, we can win.
The last EV1s in the Burbank lot were taken away and destroyed.
It is possible that California or other rich people or states were putting a lot of pressure on the company because it could have been a danger to the gasoline industry.
GM quietly closed its EV1 assembly line and began laying off its sales force.
They started with the ones with the biggest waiting list.
Studying General Motors practices over the years, the executives at the top, their motto seemed to have been going backwards into the future.
When I noticed that GM was losing interest was when I wanted to release my car.
About a car a minute, 1,000 cars a day on a good day.
And what's interesting, the first thing we noticed when we drove up here, you're going to be shredding some new cars here too. These look like perfectly good cars. Why are you shredding them up?
A little bit of a mystery, really.
Goliath won this round, but now Goliath has new problems.
A mystery. Yeah, right. And just like that, by the end of the century, the electric car dream had pretty much totally disappeared because rich people wanted to get richer. But in 2003, Elon Musk decided to start Tesla, as he saw the potential for electric cars, out of which he built the Roadster. They were being adored by the public, and even though they were a very small company, received lots of donations and investments from people. They even got donations from Larry Page and Sergey Brin, the co-founders of Google. But then, the next year, the world's financial crisis appeared.
2, 3,
13,000 mark. As the Dow Jones Industrial Average closes at a new all-time record high.
closing numbers on the markets today. At one point, the market fell as if down a well.
Because we're now down 43%.
What in the world is happening on Wall Street?
By 2 o'clock that afternoon, $5.5 trillion would have been drawn out of the money market system of the United States, would have collapsed the entire economy of the United States, and within 24 hours, the world economy would have collapsed.
Tesla's stock got hammered alongside with other companies, so Musk decided to invest $70 million of his own pocket into his own company, as he still believed in his vision for the electric car. Musk almost sold Tesla to Google amid fears of losing SpaceX and Tesla at the same time as a second option. In 2009, Tesla received a government loan of over $400 million from the Department of Energy to create the Model S.
During the presidential election, there was this big hoopla over Tesla and their Model S. Now, this is a very luxurious electric vehicle, and Romney was upset at the fact that the federal government gave the company a loan so they could develop this car. In fact, Romney said that this was a loser company, but as Rachel Maddow points out, not really so much a loser company, because not only are they paying the federal government back the loan, they're actually paying it back 5 years early.
I love how Romney talks about loser companies when so many of the companies he invested in, they gutted, right? And then they left it for dead. And then he's like, oh, look at that loser company.
By 2013, Tesla had fully paid the government and has been growing ever since, while other car companies like Nissan, for example, had not. And in 2010, Musk made Tesla go public.
The electric car maker, known for its $109,000 Roadster, is the first automaker to go public since Ford did it back in 1956. The offering appealed to investors, raising $226 million after selling more than 13 million shares for $17 apiece.
It's definitely high, higher than a lot of people thought, higher than a lot of what other car companies are selling at today, and I think it was a bit surprising.
Now the Model S is America's favorite car, or most loved car, since 2013. It has a lot of advantages over the standard gasoline car you might be driving, as it is more aerodynamic due to its low center of gravity where the battery is. It's especially noticeable when you're going through curves, as the car doesn't have to slow down as much, if any. The acceleration is lightning fast, with 0 to 60 miles per hour or 100 kilometers per hour in 3 seconds, so if you care a lot about specs, pay attention.
The fact that the dual motor has such a significant performance improvement in the car, it really improves every element of it, from obviously handling because it's all-wheel drive, but even in the handling is better than any other all-wheel drive because we're able to digitally transfer the torque from front to rear, and we're able to increase the top speed of the car, increase the acceleration of the car, and actually the dual motors also provide redundancy. It's like having a twin-engine plane, so even if one of the motors conks out for any reason, you can actually just drive on the front one or the rear one. The range actually increases because, as we were talking about earlier, you can map the efficiency curves of both motors, and the efficiency improvements with the motors overwhelm the weight. Are you guys braced? Okay.
All right, here we go.
All right.
All right. Whoa!
So no one's coming. All right, I'm just gonna stop the car. Okay.
Oh my God.
Turn off the air, and it's super nice and quiet.
Oh, there's.
And there you are. That's 60 miles an hour.
There are a bunch of videos online you can watch of the Model S drag racing other cars, and usually they're supercars like Lamborghinis and Bugattis. It'll go up to top speed at first, and in a quarter-mile race it could pretty much beat any other supercar. But quickly you'll notice that the top speed isn't that much faster than most other supercars. This is because it's an electric motor, and it's always ready to go to full speed without wasting any energy at stop, which means there is no noise or vibration. Plus, it's 100% clean energy. Electric cars are also much safer than gasoline cars, as they have better handling, acceleration, and will have a lower risk of catching fire by 500%. It might even save your life one day. Multiple crash tests have revealed that the Model S gets a consistent 5-star rating and has one of the best safety scores in history for mainstream vehicles. Sometimes it will even break the test rigs, and a lot of cars are not that safe. One of the main reasons why the Tesla Model S is unique compared to other electric cars is range. Depending on which version of the Model S you get, you would be able to go from Los Angeles to Las Vegas on a full charge. But what happens if I can't go far enough or I get stranded far from home because it needs to recharge? Well, there's a big advantage that Tesla has.
Tesla developed this supercharging technology, which is the most advanced charging technology in the world. This is something that allows you to make a brief stop at one of our Tesla supercharger stations, charge your car very quickly, and be on your way. Something that's unique about the supercharger is that it's free. It's not just free now, it's free forever.
Tesla has already many supercharger stations across the country. There are also a bunch of them in Western Europe and a fair bit in China along with Canada. But what if you're in a hurry and can't get a little bit of charge even if it's for 10 minutes? Well, these are only available in the US and are still rare, at least for now, but if you were to be at one, the machine could be able to manually swap out the battery from your car and replace it with an identical, fully charged one. The best part about this is that it's actually faster to swap out and put a new battery into 2 cars consecutively than it would to faster than to fill up your gas
for a short period of time. And when you come to the Tesla station, it shouldn't be really called the supercharging station, it should just be called the Tesla station. You have the choice of the supercharger, which is and always will be free, or you have the choice of a battery pack swap, which is faster than you can fill a gas tank. So the only decision you need to make when you come to one of our Tesla stations is, do you prefer faster or free? Looks like we've got some extra time. So since we've got some extra time, let's do another one. Now, we searched LA for the fastest gas station, which is 10 gallons a minute. And we told Javier there, who's in the thing, go as fast as you can. Almost done with the gas station. Almost done.
is almost done. It's getting there. All right, voila. I mean, so our goal here was really to eliminate the objections that people have. Obviously, for those of you here, you already believe in electric cars, and in fact, many of you have drove here in a Model S, which is awesome. Thank you.
However, there is also the, now because of a software update for version 7.0 for the Tesla Model S, AutoPilot, or semi-autopilot. I got to test this out while I was doing my drive test, and it's a pretty cool thing. So it'll detect anything. There's a bunch of videos online you can check out of cars stopping while it's on autopilot mode, because there's like a car going through that, or things that you would just never see. So things like that for autopilot is great. Of course, right now it's just in beta, although it's working super well, so that's not a problem right now. But it's definitely something that's interesting because Tesla is an innovative company, and I think this shows exactly how they're doing it. Musk says that in about 5 years, pretty much all of the Teslas will be fully 100% autopiloted by the software alone, and thus causing a less probability of less accidents. What's also pretty cool is that there's collective data. So for example, if a Tesla is going through like a difficult curve, it'll maybe ask you to put your hands on the wheel and do it yourself because it's not sure how to read it and how to respond. But if you were to do that again, the car would have learned from the last time, thus it would have made it better. If not, it would just totally do it on its own. So now in this case, so the car mastered this road, or that part of the road, so it's going to go into a collective data center, which means that every single car, if there's one Tesla car that has driven a certain hard path to direct and has learned about it, every other Tesla car will be able to do that. And that is an ability that is pretty cool, and I think very useful, especially since there are now so many drivers. Okay, so picture this. You're driving in your Tesla Model S on some random road or curve somewhere. The car is trying to read the road and trying to adapt at the same time. But let's imagine it has difficulty, so you have to take the wheel and steer it because the car can't figure it out. Well, once you've done that, the car has learned how to do that curve, even though it might take 1 or 2 tries. But once it has learned it, the data is going to go directly into the Tesla servers, and which will then be distributed to every single Tesla car there's out there. So that means that afterwards, if one of those cars is going on that same exact road, it will be able to reproduce the same exact skill that is needed to drive on that road with no problem, as long as it has been mastered. So that is a dope feature. And by the way, AutoPilot and all these features I'm talking about are mainly, most of them, are required to be updated to version 7.0, but this is not Android. You don't have to wait months to get an update, so theoretically everybody got it already. So this pretty much covers up everything you need to know about the Tesla Model S. 3 things. First of all, it's awesome. Second of all, in a few years it'll become one of the biggest companies in the world. And number 3, if you get the occasion to see it or to get a test drive, do it! Oh, and by the way, it has a pretty cool way of charging. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I think it's a proper way to end this video by showing you a little montage of my test drive and what it was like. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys in 2016.